Hello, Professor Anton. Let's see. This is going to be a response video to one of your um, older videos that you did. I was just gonna reply to this video because it's your newest one. But I wanted to say actually it was on let's see, the Master and His Emissary. I got the book based on your recommendation and your book review you did on a previous video. So I just thought I would try to uh, kind of do my own analysis of it. And yeah, first I really like the book. It's very good. I think what page am I on? 284. So about two-thirds of the way through. Um, and yeah, it's very good. He's a psychiatrist, so I mean he knows a lot about the brain, which is something I don't know tremendous about. So I'm having to learn a lot about that. And he also knows a lot about philosophy, which is it's I think he was an English professor also, which is pretty cool. So yeah, so the breadth of his knowledge is very, I guess, uh, deep or something. But anyways, um, the one thing that I thought was sort of that I noticed about the book, although I think his basic thesis is right, that we've kind of have this over um, emphasis on the left side of our brain has come to kind of dominate our worldview. The left brain, people that maybe watch this won't know. If they're not, they don't know a lot about the brain, um, or they haven't read the book. Is that the left brain is kind of it's like uh, this kind of this kind of analytic or kind of unilateral kind of way of looking at the world, where it's kind of atomistic. It kind of breaks things down into parts. Where the right brain is kind of holistic. It looks at things in context. It kind of has a more reciprocal relationship with the world, kind of like Maurice Merleau-Ponty, how he kind of talks about like a circular relationship the between the world and our bodies. And I think yeah, yeah, he's right. We've kind of become over left-brained and we've kind of forgot about the right brain. And technology is one of the things. Yeah, we've come to think that we can outstrip the world. I guess even though we're part of nature, we think technology is going to outstrip the world. Even though we come from nature and we're part of nature, somehow technology is going to sort of overcome nature or dominate nature, which I don't know. That doesn't. Yeah, he's right. And so I think we have this increased sense of alienation in the world, uh, or I guess the left brain kind of technology is kind of exacerbating alienation in the world among people. But the one thing I thought, I don't know, I haven't got to the end of the book, but I think um, the one thing is that to sort of decrease the emphasis on like kind of technology in our world, and I think he's forgetting that of the sort of the political and the economic realities that we live in. Like I'm using an Apple computer right now. I have an iPhone, YouTube, a Google, my car company. They're constantly coming out with new cars. Gas. Um, what else? I don't know. There's all kinds of Netflix. I don't know. Whatever. There's all kinds of technology, but this is all big business. So he wants to make sort of a kind of re-emphasize the right brain's way of looking at the world. But I think you have to realize, like, yeah, Apple Computer, they're not gonna just give up their sort of stranglehold or their on a technology. Their vested interests, their big money. They're not gonna like, oh, you know what? There's an increase in alienation in the world because people are just sitting in their rooms using computers. You know what? So to make the world a better place, we're gonna try to limit the amount of computers we sell to people, or talk about how we want people to use our computers less. They don't care. Corporations don't care. So it's like all these ideas they bump up against like the economic and political reality that we live in, and it's not good. I mean, corporations are basically they're like it's like we live in a plutocracy more than a democracy. Um, it seems like often, and I think the thing is if you don't realize that, yeah, lobbyists in Congress are heavily tied into the political situation, and a lot of those lobbyists come from, you know, sort of that the left brain kind of view of looking at the world, sort of this technology kind of thing. They're not. It's not gonna. The change isn't gonna happen just because um, Iain McGilchrist has a good idea. The change is gonna happen only through struggle. I mean, I'm not a Marxist, but I think that's where Marx has a really great point. Is change doesn't happen it's just because people are nice. Change happens because there's a struggle. And I think, to think that, like, okay, yeah, he has a good idea and he's right that there is this overemphasis on the left brain and we need to reemphasize the right brain, it's not going to happen without sort of a major political movement like Occupy Wall Street or something like that. And I think, yeah, the right brain view of looking at the world would, returning to that, would do a lot of good. Is it going to happen? No, I don't think it's going to happen without any political change. Because it's like, yeah, I mean, Apple's a huge, I think they're huge. I don't know what they made last quarter or whatever, but it was something, it was a lot of money. And they're not going to just be like, they're not going to give that up. Because, I don't know, frankly, corporations, um, they don't care. They do not care at all. Like, yeah, so, um, but anyways, I just want to make this video. The last thing I want to say is, I think, oh yeah, he talks about sort of Heidegger's notion of truth, where I think it's aletheia, is how you pronounce it, the Greek word, where it's this kind of unconcealment and concealment at the same time of things, which is different than kind of this like left brain propositional truth. And um, I think, um, I think an example of that, like in contemporary film, would be Terrence Malick and his movie Tree of Life, which I thought was a great film. Terrence Malick is a really great director. Terrence Malick, he's a philosophy professor. I think he taught at MIT. He I think he was actually doing his dissertation on Heidegger. Um, so I think something like Tree of Life is like a great example of kind of that poetic or artistic sense of that like kind of truth, where you can't look at it bit by bit. You have to look at the full movie. Like you have to watch Tree of Life, the full movie, fully through. Um, I think I think although he's not as good as Terrence Malick, but I think Woody Allen and Charlie Kaufman are both really good directors and writers, like Terrence Malick. But I think something like kind of this more holistic, kind of like artistic or poetic sense of truth would be something like Tree of Life. Oh, like Thin Red Line is one of my favorite films. Also, it's a great film. Um, what's it? Days of Heaven from the '70s, 1970s. That's also a great film. So I think, yeah. So I don't know, just Tree of Life. If anybody's interested in kind of a poetic, kind of really cool movie. Actually, got really good reviews, but I don't know. The Academy Awards didn't give it an award. But anyways, so when I get done with the book, I'll maybe try and make another video about it. But that's just my thoughts right now. We can't forget the political and economic reality we live in, because it's just a part of our world, unfortunately, that kind of money is ruling ruling our situation, our contemporary situation right now. And if we forget that, I think it's gonna be kind of a naive outlook on what change is actually possible. Anyways, all right, thank you.